What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Bad Bunny backstage heat, big Elimination Chamber news, John Cena discusses why he can't work this year's Mania, Rhea Ripley having a new look, AEW has flatlined, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Our first story looks at Bad Bunny backstage heat. It looks like there's locker room heat on hip-hop artist Bad Bunny now that it appears that he's in for a big appearance at this year's WrestleMania. Sportskeeda is reporting that Bad Bunny is training at the PC, and there's already some grumblings amongst wrestlers. I'm hearing that Bad Bunny is already out or going to be soon at the PC in Orlando, with Bow Wow expected soon. Bow Wow is wrapping up an album. While this is great news for social media, word has it that actual talent are not impressed by the move. Talent is concerned that time and effort will go into the rap stars, which leaves less effort being given to the actual wrestling product. Now, Latino rapper Bad Bunny has made a big impact in the WWE financially, with his merchandise selling big numbers and the WWE adding to it. It's good that Bad Bunny is taking time to learn how to work in the ring, and he deserves credit for his efforts. Now, wrestlers will always complain when an outsider shows up and takes your spot, but if Bunny proves a draw, you can be certain that WWE won't care how the roster feels, as it's all about the money. What are your thoughts on Bad Bunny and Bow Wow being in the WWE? Is Bow Wow even relevant anymore? How's he gonna be a big draw? Next up, big Elimination Chamber news. The WWE already has 3 matches lined up for this year's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, including McIntyre defending the championship against 5 former champions in the Elimination Chamber. However, how will the WWE feature a second Elimination Chamber match? And if so, will it be a tag team event or a singles event? Ringside News is reporting that it inquired about a women's match. A tenured member of the writing team told us that this match might be in the minds of Vince, Bruce, Koski, maybe Callahan, maybe Triple H, maybe. Nothing has been sent down to the creative team regarding a women's Elimination Chamber match yet. As noted in the exclusive, things could change, but according to Ringside News' Steve Carrier, a lot of fans are pretty upset about our report concerning no women's match at the Elimination Chamber this year. We were able to confirm that the company is still planning 2 matches, but right now, they're both for the men. Last year's show featured the Women's Squash Fest, where Shayna Baszler demolished her 5 opponents to earn a Raw Championship opportunity at WrestleMania, as well as the men's match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. It seems unlikely they will feature a match involving the Universal Championship, given the rumors of Edge challenging Reigns at Mania. But while this is speculation, don't be surprised to see the Intercontinental Championship defended in the Chamber or the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. However, this seems doubtful given the lack of teams on the blue brand. What matches would you like to see at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a major star is injured on Dynamite. Bad news for Cody Rhodes, who injured his shoulder during a match on the latest edition of Dynamite. Rhodes teamed with Lee Johnson to defeat Pretty Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi, but the 2-time TNT champion didn't escape unscathed. Rhodes' coach Arn Anderson posted an update on his Coach's Corner segment, leading to fans wondering whether the injury was real or kayfabe. However, Wrestling Inc. reports AEW released the following statement. Following the recording at Coach's Corner, it was confirmed by the AEW medical team that Cody Rhodes suffered a slight tear of his left rotator cuff during his tag match on Dynamite. His current status is to be decided. We will continue to follow this story and wishes the American Nightmare a speedy recovery. Next up, John Cena. I'm not coming to WrestleMania 37. Is John Cena coming to WrestleMania this year? Well, Cena has said that while he'd like to, there's no way he can show up at the Raymond James Stadium for this year's showcase of the Immortals. Nonetheless, some fans think Cena will find a way to show up, something Cena insists just isn't happening. The 16-time world champion spoke with Forbes' Alfred Konua about why he can't show up. Unfortunately, it's out of my hands. Every other year except for this year has been completely within my realm. If these were normal times, I would 100% be there. I'd find a way to contribute somehow. I've sat in the crowd as a fan. I'll do whatever the event asks me to because it means that much to me and the WWE means that much to me. But I'm in Vancouver shooting Peacemaker for HBO Max. Now, we discussed this in past news videos, but where things get tricky is that the series is filmed in Canada, and according to John, because of the quarantine law, if I were to fly to the States for Sunday on WrestleMania, which is totally possible, the complications arrive when I come back to Canada, because then I wouldn't have to quarantine for 14 days, and that puts production back more than 2 weeks, which costs a boatload of money, and that would be super selfish of me. Cena pointed out that if somehow things were to change with the quarantine and travel regulations, he'd show up. However, for now, I can't do that to Warner, I can't do that to DC, I can't do that to James, I can't do that to the Suicide Squad. It's just not fair. It bears mentioning that Cena may also be barred from wrestling whilst he's involved in the shooting of the series. It wouldn't surprise us if Cena were to make an appearance by video, but at this point an in-ring return at Mania is kind of unlikely. Next up, AEW has flatlined according to Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff has appeared in AEW, but he's still ready to criticize the product, especially when someone from AEW criticizes his tenure behind the scenes in TNA. During his 83 Weeks podcast, Bischoff commented on comments Chris Jericho made in 2011. TNA is just so Bush League. They can do better than that, and the guys on top there should know better, and it really makes me mad because they're wasting money, and they don't have to be wasting money because I'm not burying TNA, I'm saying you should be ashamed of yourself because you can do better. Eric brought up AEW's ratings, noting, AEW last week, they did about 800,000 viewers. They opened up the door with 1.5 million viewers, and they haven't been able to crack 1 million since, or if they have, it's only been 1 or 2 occasions. They've essentially flatlined at 7 or 800,000 viewers on average for the last year and a half. That's an observation that could, unless something turns around in the next 18 months, come back to haunt someone like Chris. Quite frankly, AEW has flatlined, and it's been that way essentially for a year. It's easier to talk about a business you're not really in. Chris has never run a wrestling business, and when he made that statement, he was making it from a position of a talent, not an executive. It remains to be seen what the future holds for AEW, but they seem to be doing well in terms of demographics and pay-per-view buy rates. But what do you think of Eric Bischoff's comment? Has AEW flatlined? And finally, Rhea Ripley's new look. Last but not least, is former NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley ready to sport a new look when she arrives on the main roster? While many fans are more concerned with just when Ripley will finally end up on Raw or SmackDown, the talented Australian native posted a picture on Instagram with her decked out in leather and showing off a new hairstyle. There's no word on whether this is Ripley's new look for when she debuts, but there have been rumours of Ripley jumping to the main roster for months now, along with reports that her 2021 Royal Rumble appearance marked her official jump to the main roster. Although Ripley's fans obviously want to see her on the main roster, she's better off making that move when the WWE has a good storyline for her, rather than seeing her push fizzle much like Shayna Baszler's disappointing run on Raw. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumours you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.